Okay, that's it. We're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Yeah, here I am with my cup of chamomile tea.
Ooh, that sounds so relaxing.
Yeah, I felt like I hadn't had enough tea today, and I suddenly thought my tea will have to come with me.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah, I didn't have any tea today, but I did have coffee. My tea I have in the evening, but I do have water. Lots of water because it's like
Yeah.
very, very close to 100 degrees here. It's like 90 something degrees, and it's been this for days. It has been brutal.
Oh my God, it's quite cold here now. Oh, I just got to click on something. Hang on.
Okay, go ahead, take your time. I'm still trying to search, so those of you popping in, I can't see you yet, but I'm trying. Here we go. Turn
There
that
you
down.
go.
Ah, okay. I see Rose Maria. Hello, welcome, lovely. Thank you for being here. I'm going to share that we're live.
I have missed everybody. I've missed it. Last week and the week before, I was like, oh, I want to do the show.
Oh, yeah. It's been, I can't believe it's been 2 weeks. It doesn't feel like
Feel-
it's been 2 weeks.
It feels like longer actually to me, but I suppose that's because I've been sort of on holiday and I've been away and
Mm,
things have been, different. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh,
So, how was your holiday?
well, I mean, me and Thomas had a few days away by ourselves, which never happens. This is the first time we've had that. But
Oh,
Benji has like respite care now, and in the summer they've given us like some nights away on our own, so it's like some extra time. So it was a bit last week, and we get a bit in August. And we
yeah.
went to we went to like a nice um, sort of bed and breakfast hotel type place next to a fjord, and they had a sauna.
Oh,
We were doing the whole in the sauna thing, and then go swimming in the fjord, and then you go back in the sauna, and then you go, and we did that like the third time. The third time I was just lying in the sauna, just going, oh,
oh, wow.
I was nearly dribbling.
That's funny. Wow. Well, that sounds nice and relaxing and nice
Yeah, well,
little romantic getaway. Good for you.
yeah. It was like, yeah, that's the first time we've had that in, I don't know, since before we had Benji.
Oh, I can't remember the last time my husband and I went away by ourselves. I don't even, maybe it's never happened. I'm not even sure. But there's no excuse for it now. Our kids are older, so no excuse for it other than, just putting it out there and making it happen, I guess, right?
Yeah, because it is. I mean, like it was just an hour's drive we went, so it wasn't because I don't want to, I don't want to spend a long time traveling or anything. And
Mm-mm.
also with the coronavirus and everything, it's like we
How
just drove in the car for an hour. So
how are
it's
things
like,
there with that?
well, I was looking up the figures last night because I haven't looked for ages, and I looked it up. There's like a special website you can see.
Hmm.
And there's 20 something people, 26 people in the whole of Denmark that have got coronavirus
Wow.
and are in a hospital and are in hospital.
Okay.
So like there's a couple of regions that have got nobody in hospital at all. I think where we are in Shayland, it's about 7 or something people. It's like, so, I mean, at the moment, but I mean, I know it's very likely it will go up and down because they have opened the borders now to quite a lot of countries. So, you know,
Hmm.
think,
Yeah.
think
Mm.
sometimes.
Well, things seem to be getting better here, but then we get in my area, I should say, in New Jersey, seems to be getting better here. They're opening a lot of things up now. Definitely lifting a lot of the restrictions. However, there are certain parts of the country that are just now getting really hit hard. So
Yeah.
it's really up and down, and there's really no I don't even really know what to say. Like, it feels a little bit more liberated here, but I know that that's kind of an illusion based on, what's going on around us. So deep breaths.
Yeah. I have seen that in the States, that things have started opening up in some places, and then things have got worse, so they've had to like close them
Yeah.
down
Yeah, we have
again.
to in like there's I think states like Florida and Texas, they actually are not allowed to come to New Jersey or Pennsylvania without a mandatory like 14-day quarantine. So, you know, it's it is what it is, I guess. We're just going through the
Yeah,
motions, but yeah.
yeah,
But at least we
yeah.
have a little bit of liberation, a little reprieve from everything that's been going on here. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we've had all of this intense, fun energy the last 2 weeks. It's like Rachel and I just kind of went MIA in like the biggest, biggest energy impacts that we've been experiencing between the solstice and, oh my goodness, new moons, solar eclipses, now full moon, lunar eclipse. Oh,
It has been really amazing, actually, but it's been good that I've had time to sort of work with the stuff that's coming up, because I've needed it.
me too. And I think that's what this time was all about. It came in actually a really divine time because, we people like you and I do this work and we help kind of bring things out into the open for others, but we are also doing the work ourselves. And it sometimes is really hard to be that space holder and, present information, but go through our own processes. And that's what I feel like this last 2 weeks was really about us integrating all of that information coming through, all of the energy, and also going through our own purifications and releases.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting you say that, because I've been feeling that as well.
Oh, yeah.
I kept talking about, sort of in March and April, I kept talking about all this light that was coming in, and it just felt amazing. And I was on a bit of a sort of a high with it all. And then at some point it dropped, and then it was like, ooh.
Yep.
And then the last couple of weeks, it feels like stuff's been coming in, and I've been like being not revealed to things. Oh, I can't think what the word is, but things have been shown to me that I need to do, that's actually started lifting me back up again. And it's like, okay, so I'm sort of coming back to the point where I was, but a bit more integrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, we can talk about it.
We could.
We got how long we got 50 minutes.
Yeah. So we do have a bunch of other people popped in with us today tuning in. I just want to say hi to Annette and Annetta and Flo and Jerry and let's see, Marie, I'm sorry. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. Annetta says, great seeing you back. And Rosemary is actually commenting saying California had to close their restaurants for takeout only again. So, New Jersey was that way. Pennsylvania was that way. New York was that way. But yeah, here we have a little bit of that concern that we might have to go back to some things again. So hopefully not, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I've my eldest son some tickets to fly from the UK, because they've stopped the quarantine.
Oh, did they?
Now he can. I don't think I'm not sure how broad it is, or for where or anything, but he can fly here and go back now without there being problems. But I mean, I've booked him tickets at the end of August, and then it gives us a bit longer to see how things are going, and either he'll come or he won't. But I mean,
yeah. Oh well, I hope that all works out.
Yeah, I hope so, because I haven't seen my son since February.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm used to like seeing him like from time to time, but I've never not seen him for this long ever. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
So he's 17. I mean, I know he's nearly grown up.
Yeah. Oh, he still needs his mama. Yeah, and he still needs his mama too. On the contrary to how they put that out there at that age,
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So, how have all of you been? We want to hear from everybody and hear how this last 2 weeks without us has been. Not just because we weren't there, but what have we missed? So, Rachel was on a very magical journey. You went exploring, right? You went adventuring.
Yes, I've been adventuring. I've actually been away twice because I went walking with a friend on an island down the bottom of Shayland.
And so now what did
So,
you do? Did you just like camp out for the night, put up tents? Or...
no, we stayed in a bed and
Oh,
breakfast.
okay. I was like, wow,
But we walked,
she's really
but
hardcore.
during the day, it was walking.
Still.
Yeah, no, I'm not much good. I would do a tent if I had a mattress. I haven't done a tent for a couple of years now. The last time I sort of felt it a bit in my bones, a bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fan of them either. So a little bit.
I love camping because I love that whole being outside thing. But I think these days I would rather do it in one of those old VW camper vans or something.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm right there with you. I really do love the outdoors. I love nature. I really feel at home just being in nature. But there are some things that I do have limitations with, and snakes and tents are one of them. So,
I've been going running.
ooh, good for you. Look at you.
I know, I know. I've kept it. I've gone 4 times now.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I really do feel inspired to do something for my physical body, but then I lose that inspiration. I'm like, of course, being in the 90-degree weather isn't really helping that motivation whatsoever.
No, it's probably not the time of year for you to start,
No,
is
I might
it?
wait or get up super, super early, but that also never happens when I want it to. So, yeah.
It's gone much, much colder here now.
Wow.
Really.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to get warm again next week, so I live in hope.
Yeah, this is about the time I'd be getting ready to journey to Glastonbury, and that's not happening. I know my heart has been so heavy, but I've been doing a lot of self-work and I've been connecting a lot with the elementals lately and nature and really going deep, deep in there. So I feel like it's kind of bringing a little bit of the magic that I miss from Glastonbury, kind of back to me there. So I understand why. I know that everything happens on a deeper level. And I do feel like there's so much magic and purification happening at a lot of the sacred sites right now that I do think it's so important to limit the amount of activity there. And that's important as it also goes through its detoxes and purifications. Because remember, we're linked to the planet.
That's really interesting. When you said that, I could just see it. And so in the town where I live, Roskilde, there's this field in front of the Domkirke, which is like the cathedral. And this field is there. I mean, it's in the middle of the town, there's this field. This field is there because underneath there's like medieval streets underneath it.
Wow.
So they can't like build on it because it's like archaeological value. But they let it out to a farmer and he grows corn on it.
Wow.
And stuff like that. Yeah. But is it yeah, they sort of do fireworks in Denmark at New Year. In England we do it, in Great Britain we do it, and we have something called Guy Fawkes Night, which goes back to, I don't know, 1700 and something. And it was someone tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
So, yeah, let's have some fireworks.
He was caught, and then I guess he was hanged or something horrible. That's what they did in those days. But when I was a kid, I don't think people do it so much now. When I was a kid, we used to like make Guy Fawkes and go around in a wheelbarrow going penny for the guy, penny for the guy, and get money for it. And then at the end of the night, you'd have all these fireworks and the big bonfire, and the Guy Fawkes would go on the bonfire.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then we'd have loads of fireworks. So that, in my head, fireworks, but I think that's the 2nd of November. But in Denmark, they do it Oh no, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's midsummer. They have a big fire thing here, midsummer, and they burn effigies of witches.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'd never actually been to one of those because
yikes.
I find that rather upsetting and offensive. I still have to write my letter to the
Yeah.
MP. Quite got around to it. But what I was going to say, in this field, there is the most amazing energies in this field. It's like a train station with all these different ley lines and things coming in, and there's vortexes and all sorts of stuff going on. It's really amazing. But only if you sort of look at it with your spiritual eye. If you look at it with your, your normal eyes, you get a nice view of the fjord, But that one night so everybody was there. I guess it was a bonfire or fireworks or something. And then I didn't go, but the next day I went there and I suddenly noticed how all the energy in the field had been like sucked up, like, and I was like, oh, so because there was a big crowd here, they like sucked up all the energy that normally I come along and you can it's just the whole field is just full. It's like looking at like the stars at night. It's like all these different things everywhere, and it's just so rich and amazing. So I'm imagining, like, when you said that, I'm imagining like the these sacred sites. They're building up this incredible power
and
stuff.
and not only do, like, when lots of human traffic goes to these sites, yes, we do absolutely take in, like you just said, we suck up all that energy, we take it in. Sometimes we're meant to, because of the activations that occur in the downloads, but also what happens is an energy transference. And so sometimes, that site is actually, it's just that law of exchange. They're actually taking on some of ours. And it's like, I actually wrote a message the other day that I was guided to talk about these insects called lanternflies that are relatively new to our area. But I'll share that later onto the Cosmic Heart page for everybody, because I don't want to waste too much time going into it. But the general overview of that message was, the lanternflies get a really bad reputation because they're in there like infestations on our trees, and kind of like creating the whatever they inject into the trees supposedly like creates like this toxins and like mold, and so it actually diseases and decays the trees as well as like vegetation. So there's like a war on lanternflies, and I just never feel right about that. So I sat there, I tuned in, and basically the overall message that I received was, our trees, nature, everything is like a source of coding, just like these sacred sites are. And they too are being replenished and restored. But in order for that to happen, to come in and receive this new light, these new energy frequencies to assist in new earth transformation, it has to clear out what it has absorbed. It's taken in all the hundreds and thousands of years of war and negative energy and chaos and dis-ease and all of this. So the earth is polluted too, and all, everything within it is polluted, including these sacred sites. So as they're being rebuilt, it's the message that I received is kind of like, you can't have all of this traffic going back and forth. Otherwise, it's kind of like undoing the work as it's happening, if that makes sense. So it helped me feel better about why things are kind of like not working out the way that I'd hoped they were. But it's not for long. It's not for long. So.
Yeah, and that really kind of fits in like with what it feels like it's been happening the last couple of weeks, with a lot of like, I don't like that word karma, but I don't have another one. I don't like. I suppose it's not the word karma so much I have an argument with. It's the baggage that we've attached to it, like it's some sort of punishment.
Yeah.
And
it's just cause and effect.
Exactly, it's just cause and effect, and also, it's our learning. It's the mechanics of what like runs all of the learning that we need to do, like our personal learning program. But so I've been doing a bit of a light language.
Ooh. Have you?
Well, I started because I really like the light language that you do, and then I saw this woman called Mermaid Mahalia. course, she lives in Hawaii, and she uses light language, and then she started talking about Jamie Price, who I'd seen, and I got the book, and I was reading the book, and then I just thought, reading about this isn't helping me. Like, and then I was listening to, I get emails in my inbox, and it's from this woman. Oh, what's her name? I wrote it down somewhere. Oh, Loren Gailey. She's lovely. She does this like talk show called Quantum Conversations.
Oh.
I get something from her every week, and most of the time I'm too busy to look at it. But occasionally it just goes at me, and then I have to open it and look, and it's always something I need to watch. And so anyway, I did this, and I looked at it, and it was a Chinese woman called Grace Hom talking about light language. And I listened to her, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I just really liked her vibe. And she's been running this, like, practice light language thing. And so I've done a couple of things of that. And wow, it's really wild. There's about like 66 of us, like, on Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Doing light language at the same time.
Well, I that's fascinating, because the way that my light language actually started being activated was, and that's the key word there, is activated. I do feel like it isn't something that can really be taught. It's something that happens. You do get activated, and when you start feeling the call to do it or to learn, it's really that your language just wants to come through. And however you get there is however you get there. But I first, like I said, I think I talked about this before, I heard Jamie Price is one of the people that I've actually stumbled upon her light language and her informational posts that she does, like, on YouTube. And there was another woman, I believe her name is, if I'm not mistaken, Lightstar. And I just happened to tune in and be listening to a meditation. I didn't know what light language was. And they're talking, and then boom, they go into this transmission. And I'm like, oh, what is happening? And before long, it just started happening. So, that's probably what's happening with you, is you're being triggered and activated, probably from what I'm doing, from Jamie Price or whoever else, the mermaid woman that you follow is triggering you. There's a reason you continuously listen to these,
Yeah, that's it. And then, so what it felt like, because everyone was talking like really, really fast, and I was going really slowly, and I just thought, no, yeah, it's okay. This is how it's supposed to be. But I could feel like this energy coming in, and it was like someone was talking to me, but I mean, not words, but someone was talking to me about, like, because like, in my lifetime I've had a lot of stuff, and I know, and a lot of other people have this as well. I've had a big thing about feeling like I'm wrong, and not that I'm wrong in a way that you're either right or wrong, but that I'm wrong, like, at the core of, like, my being. And it was like someone was talking to me about it and being really saying they're so sad about it, but it's like, it's not supposed to be like that, and it just, things were just shifting, and I was like, oh wow, this is really amazing. And it was like balancing up whatever that karmic thing is that's just been, because, like, many of us, I've been on a healing path for, like, I don't know, since I was 26, so that's quite a few years now. And it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful and so gentle and just so sort of perfect for, like, what I needed in that moment. And
it's beautiful when that happens, especially too when you come to that place where you just accept the way that your voice comes through, or because you listen to other people, and there's, like, some people have, like, different dialects, like they know specifically their dialects, and people get really caught up and trapped up in that. People also get really caught up in what is being said, like it's supposed to be a verbatim translation. I had to learn to just let go and let come through. And mine does shift. I do have different dialects, but I don't really try to put a label on them. I just let flow. And sometimes I'm aware. It's like you said, you have this awareness, like there's a conversation happening, but it's more of a conscious knowing versus an actual word for word translation. So like, you know what's going on, you're aware. Yeah, but it's a beautiful.
Yeah, it was an emotional thing. And the sense that I had was the sound is just a carrier of the wave rather than being the thing itself. So like whatever language, like I think I'm speaking or not speaking, whatever, those sounds and those tones and everything, they're carrying something else inside it. And that's the light language. It's just a carrier wave. So in a way, it wouldn't even matter what I said or what I sounded like or anything, as long as I made a noise. Because it's like the noise, it's because it's sound. That's what's so important. Because like, you know, like so many religions and spiritualities say everything in form is made by a sound.
That's right. Yeah. And when I first started doing the vocal toning too, I thought, what am I doing? This just sounds ridiculous, you know? And I really got very uncomfortable with it, but I just kind of let go after a while. And that's another thing. It's like, you're just making vowel sounds. And it's like, how am I doing anything? Just going ooh and ah, you know, and making these noises. But you are. It's exactly what you just said. They are a carrier of light encoded frequency. And that when the sound carries it, it enables you to, or the other person, whoever comes in contact with it, to hear it. And then that's how it begins to become integrated into their own energy field or light body and whatnot for them to be able to receive it. But yeah.
Yeah. But it's a really beautiful, beautiful tool. I mean,
I love that. Wow. So yeah. So now maybe when we're doing our transmissions in our monthly group, that we will be going back and forth with some dialect there. Be interesting.
yeah, maybe because I've definitely got some ideas of like I got a feeling what is I'm being pulled towards, but you know, we'll see, and I'll just let it. I'll just let it develop. But I mean, what a journey. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and you definitely inspired me to do that,
Well,
Jamie.
I'm
So
happy
thank
to do so, and I'm hoping that does the same for others as well. You know, it's how we're shifting and growing and expanding and opening up to these new old abilities. You know. Yeah, I love that. It's also interesting that you touched on karma too, because you know, I actually received a channeled message this morning that was posted in our private members only Evolving into the Cosmic Heart group. And it was from Kuan Yin, specifically regarding the balancing of the karmic scales and how her dragon energies are coming forward to assist us. So I kind of have this feeling, Rachel, that will be bringing in some of that dragon energy this month too in our members group.
Oh, and I'll show you the card that I pulled.
No way.
It says
no way. And it's Saint Germain who Kuan Yin often is working with because of them being on that same. They're both on that same ray, the seventh ray.
Yeah. And I've been working with Sarah's Violet Flame today because I'm putting together like a healing system, working with the energies that Sarah's taught me. And this initiation I put together this morning is an initiation into the violet flame, but using it for healing. So when I pulled that yesterday, I was like, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, I'm excited about that.
I read someone say, it was an Australian guy, he said that Sarah was married to, was Sarah married to Saint Germain, or he was her son?
Wow, that's pretty fascinating.
But what I was really interested in was that he'd connected her with him, because I think her violet flame is amazing and just so powerful. But of course, you know, Saint Germain and Lady Portia, you know, they are the people that I've always called on for the violet flame. And Sarah's violet flame that I've been working with, it's like another ray of it, but they are like the grandparents of it, if you like, you know, to me. So it's like, so I really loved that when I read that he connected her. And somebody else, I read something else the other day. I can't remember what that was.
It is interesting. I've always wondered about that because there's not a lot of information out there about who Ascended Master Sarah was married to, but she did obviously have children. And I heard something about, I don't remember where this came from. And sometimes I even ask myself, where did you find that out, Jamie? I have no idea. Sometimes I just receive this information. I think I read it. That supposedly whoever she married to was like the founder of, or like the original, like he went on to like found the original Knight Templar order or something. But this was way before, it kind of got way in the very, very beginning stages. And that always kind of like just something clicked and resonated, but I have no idea who that is, or, and that some of her children actually were some of the earliest Templars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would love to hear more information on that, but
yeah, I know what the other thing was. I read this. Well, I was listening to Diana Cooper this morning. She's like an English sort of ascension angel unicorn person, and she was saying that she got the information that Joseph, Mary's husband, was Saint Germain.
Oh, wow.
And this is the thing, when you've got a spiritual world like, we live in, with lots of different channels, it's like with the angels, everyone has a different kind of perspective and a different take on it. And for me, that's fine, because I tend to look at it sort of more from, and what does that mean? So when people say these things, I'm not thinking about, oh, is that actually true or isn't it true? I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting, and what's the significance of that, and what does it mean? So, like, I was excited about hearing this connection between Saint Germain and Sarah, because I think her violet flames are really important, and obviously he's the violet flame man, isn't he? So that's what I took from it. But I mean, you can only really find your own truth, can't you?
That's really what it's all about. Yeah, finding your own truth.
I tend to be fairly flexible.
Yeah, and I am too, because it's never really what we perceive it, especially in our consciousness is so still unevolved. Yeah, we're moving up, but we're still, even me, sometimes something gets presented to me in a completely different light, and I'm like, I can't believe I never seen that before. I can't believe it never clicked that way before. It's because I wasn't ready for it. So I do think that it's less about what's true, what's not true. Like you said, it's more about there's something there, and it does resonate with me with Sarah and Saint Germain, because regardless of the matter, I think you can't have one without the other, because the violet flame, there's a link, the consciousness of everyone working with it's all connected, so yeah, we've got some comments here too. Annette Vance, she says, I agree, all the light has been coming in is to help us work through deep stuff and integrate it. So heavy going at the time, but worth it coming out the other side. She also says, I think in light language, you are drawn to what you need. It's the vibration and sound that opens the flow, which is absolutely true. I've heard some people that speak light language that I'm just like, I'm not connected to this. It doesn't mean that they're not doing it. I'm not connected to it. But then there's some people that you're just like, whoa. Yeah.
Exactly. Because when I listen to some people on YouTube, I was a bit like, not really. And then when I listened to you, when you were doing it, like when we were doing the show, I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. And especially because like we're talking about things that were quite upsetting, and then you brought light language in, and it was just so healing, and I could really feel that. And then I would just like really urge everyone, if you have the slightest interest in this, really check it out. Because I think that's amazing that we can sort of bring our own like healing.
I'm getting covered in goosebumps right now.
Right? And this woman that's doing the thing that I've been doing on Zoom, her name's Grace Hom. She's just wonderful. I mean, she's just like so encouraging and giving so many tips and ideas. And because some of us need a bit of help, like how to jump over our conscious minds. Like for me, like with the channeling, it was because I learned hypnotherapy. I learned how to go into trance. And so that, because I am just like, I don't fall asleep easily at night. It takes me ages. I have a mind that really like holds on to things, you know. So I have needed help. Like, how do I find a technique of how to do this?
Mm-hmm.
But I always do, you know. And I think for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
there's a way, you know, there's a way to get to do it. And it was just, you know, listening to all these different people. It's amazing how different everybody's, you know, like languages, and just
Mm-hmm.
everyone has their own
That's
like
right.
unique value. It's just incredible. It's like, oh yeah, I want everyone to do this. And this is Grace Holmes. She's like, that's what she was like. She was like a mother hen, and we were all the little chicks clucking along after her. It was so sweet. But I wanted to say, because me, if anybody hasn't heard us talk about this already, but me and Jamie have been offering like cosmic heart transmissions, not just for the group, the members group, but people can have them individually. And like we did them, we've done one for someone, and she's given us a really nice like testimonial. But when we were like producing, you know, going through, because like I do a bit and then Jamie does a bit, and I do a bit and Jamie does a bit. And like, it was really interesting, Jamie, because the bit you did for her, I didn't get the energy from it. And I thought, no, it's because it's not for me. It's personally just for that person. And I was just so fascinated by that.
And that's the perfect example as to how really kind of aligning here with what Annette said, how it does it comes in uniquely for every single individual. And I notice that sometimes when I'm working on clients, I will, you know, I have what I'm used to, which I call my own personal unique. I've actually heard it referred to. I had a client one time who was a very religious man, and I was very nervous about working on him because I'm very like, you know, I'm gonna like outside the box, you know. And I thought, oh, I don't know how he's gonna take this, but I gotta, light language wants to come through. So I'm just like, listen, you know, I kind of explained. And when he heard it after his session was done, he said to me, I know exactly what that is. And it's actually referenced in the Bible as speaking in tongues, right? Although we get a different impression when we hear speaking in tongues. It sounds like way different than what we feel when we do this. But anyway, he said that it is your soul's unique language with source or God, and that it's just a dialect that comes between the two of you that only your soul can bring forward, only your soul knows. But with that sense, yes, I do notice there's my one. But with that, your soul then can connect with something uniquely that the other person's soul needs or connects with uniquely. And so you can bring in these different sounds and dialects, and for example, bringing in specific energies like ascended masters or angel beings that want to assist and deliver something through these transmissions that person specifically needs. So I was really blown away by the one session that we did together. With the energy that came through was not something I ordinarily did, and it was just wow. I was blown away. So yeah.
Oh, here comes Benji. Oh, there he goes again.
So yeah, our light or transmissions they're very special, they're very beautiful, and very unique for you and what you are most in need of at the time that you contact us. And it is all pre-recorded. We record it and then we send it to you, and it's something that you listen to and work with multiple times. And each time that you listen to it is like layers are revealed or released. Even still, more and more, it's like integrating on different layers each and every time you listen to it. So Rachel and I are available for doing those specifically for you. If you're interested, just send us a message. Okay.
Yeah. It was a very wonderful process to just see how different it is working like with me and Jamie, and we're working together in that way. And I know I've said this before on past shows, but I really think healers, or whatever we want to call ourselves, working together in this way, I think it's really the future.
You're right.
Because it's there's just an amazing something happens that doesn't happen, I think, when I'm working on my own. It's like things get amplified. I mean, I do great work and all the rest of it myself, but it's just something different, isn't it? Doing it with
Yeah, it's like
somebody
a
else
gateway.
like this,
It's like two pillars of a gateway. I've said that before. I do work also with one of my other partners, Karen from Oracles of the Light, and the two of us actually have combined healing sessions, and we notice this amazing difference. She does, sound and vibrational energy on her own, and then I do the light healing on my own. And yes, we both have amazing results on our own. But when we come together and we do these sessions, it's like two pillars of a gateway that open to bring forth this whole other energy that I'm not quite sure could come through with just one person. It's very important. And you can have that with many different people. And I like what you and I here are doing together. It is two pillars of a gateway that is anchoring something very special for, each individual, or just even these conversations, just our
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah. I would really like to do something at some point, I guess, where we could facilitate people doing that and finding buddies and trying it out, and because I think it's
Yeah.
really special,
I
actually,
think, yeah. And then I
and
think
so
in
simple.
our cosmic heart group, we do kind of open that space at the end of the month for everybody to share things that are starting to happen to them or what they work with on their own. Maybe that is something that we can like open up the doorway there and kind of have like a buddy system working together and see. Because I will
Yeah.
tell you that when I first started doing light language, and I was very insecure about it, I was very unsure about, not coming off as sounding loony, I would, in my private friends group, I would just say, okay, like, listen to this. I recorded this. It started happening. Listen to this. And one of my friends would actually message me back and say, oh my goodness, Jamie, I have no idea what you're saying, but all I know is that it triggered me, and I was responding to you in this language that I've never spoken before. So yeah, it's like that. So I think the buddy system is just an amazing idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. Going back to that, going back to the light language. I love that. Like your intent. So like when you're doing light language for a group, everyone can feel it, and like when you're doing it for that person, it's that person that gets it. That your intent can make that happen. It's like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that's so
We also
cool.
have a comment here touching on what you said about, it's from, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Leonie, said that Saint Germain was Joseph. So apparently they have heard that as well, but also that Saint Germain was Merlin. And that is actually a very common,
Yeah,
thing that I've heard myself as well, that Merlin was believed to be another incarnation of Saint Germain, or Saint Germain was another
yeah,
incarnation of Merlin. Yeah. Yeah, it resonates. It makes sense. And I just think that whatever you feel resonates with your soul is what you need to listen to and follow. It doesn't mean that your truth is different or the only truth, but yeah.
yeah. Because so I'm always really interested to hear these things, and then it goes in one ear and out the other, I'm afraid, because it's just like my memory just doesn't hold on to these things. And then, when I'm working, whoever needs to work with me comes in. And then I work with them. It's like I don't have to have a lot of like conscious knowledge
Yeah.
about them, which is good.
Yeah,
Because
and
my
I
brain
think
just
it's the
doesn't
same way
work
that,
like
like, going
that,
back
I'm
to the
afraid.
conversation that we had a few weeks ago about the soul aspects. It could be something like that, where Merlin, or Saint Germain, because Saint Germain came after, was a incarnation of Merlin, so that he could have been a soul aspect, or
Yeah.
vice versa. They could have been a soul aspect. So I think energetically, because some people will say, well, oh, you worked with Merlin, but then didn't you also simultaneously work with Saint Germain? No, that never dawned on me, because I'm like, no, because I worked with the energy of Merlin and what he embodied, and what working with him specifically needed to bring to me. So yeah, I think not getting too caught up in who was who. It's great to have an awareness, but work with who comes to you in whatever form they choose to come in, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Because, yeah, I mean, these things are really interesting. And like, you know, like going back to what we were saying about Sarah, I've read different things about Sarah. And there's a woman, is it Claire Narmed or something like that? I don't know, could be wrong. But she's written quite a lot of books where she mentions Sarah, but she sort of weaves in and out of the story. And she had Sarah as sort of dying in Rome, in prison, I think, childless. And I read that and it just felt like, I was like, yeah, don't know about that. Like, you know, it didn't feel like that it ended like that. I just thought, no, I sort of feel a continuation energetically, like going on really. But I don't have, like I said, I don't have any fixed beliefs that it was this way or that way. Although sometimes, you know, I've had visions and things in the past of certain things. But even then, I'd like, to me, it's the work that I'm doing now that's important, right, not the stories, like behind it, really. And my time is consumed by getting on with the work.
The past is important to know for certain things, you know, but it's important to not stay there, you know. It has some sort of, it's even like people that really get, you know, they dive really deeply into their past lifetimes, and a lot of people tend to get fixated there, and they stay there, you know. And it's the importance of understanding who you were in previous incarnations, is not to stay there and not to be upset that you're no longer there, because that just creates resistance and blockage to your journey now. It's more important to know those things because you are taking bits and pieces of what you learned in those lifetimes and that consciousness, and you are bringing it back together. You're kind of reclaiming those pieces because it's essential to you using it here and now. So I think it's kind of falls along the same, you know, it's the past is the past, understand it and take what you need from it, but move forward with it, you know?
Yeah. And I definitely feel like I'm in a process of shifting, almost like sifting, you know, when you put the flour into the sieve and like, you leave all the coarse bits behind and then chuck them up. I feel like I'm going through a process of that at the moment, and the light language is coming as one of the tools, and then another tool is working with the Norns. I did my Norns class the other week. And that was just, they are just so beautiful to work with, and because they're sort of depicted as being a bit scary and a bit horrible. You've got to be careful, and you mustn't do this and you mustn't do that, or it'll end up bad for you. And, you know, I've always been a bit scared. But no, they just like, they really
want to take that class too. So is it still available on replay?
It is, and it's on offer until
I better hurry up and jump
tomorrow.
On that. I feel like I remember you saying it was coming, but I thought for some reason I'm like, it's a few weeks away yet.
Yeah, because time has been going so fast. And I actually was a bit nervous teaching that class, because it's sort of Nordic spirituality, but it's like, it's what I've learned and then techniques that I've come up with, and then, you know, then I'm teaching that. And I was a bit nervous because it's like outside of my normal kind of Sarah thing, you know. And I was a bit like, is someone going to stand up in a minute and go, I'm not qualified enough to do this? But it's like, I just have this amazing connection with them. And I know, like, when I speak to other people, they also get that amazing connection. And then, well, of course you're going to work with them, because you're connected like heart to heart. But it's like, it is weird, because in a way they are, what were we talking about before? We were talking about this, like, it's almost like like karma. They are like completely objective on one level. So it's almost like they're mechanical, because they have to keep the balance on the web of weird. But on the other hand, like, when you connect with them, there's there's these personalities there that are very, very real, you know. But they are great to work with. But I'm unraveling your knots on your path, whether you want to call it karma or whatever they are. And I've realized because I went and did like a journey to them on one of the burial mounds near to where I live. And they said to me, we can use this not just for us, we can use it for businesses, for the towns we live in, for the country, for anything that exists in manifest creations. You can use it if there's problems going on to ask, because you ask them for advice, like what do we do about this? And then they will tell you. But I mean, it always involves quite a lot of work.
Isn't that the truth?
Because if it was so easy, you wouldn't have gone and had to journey to them in the first place to ask them. You know what I mean? You would have just sorted it out yourself. So it's only the things that have got really tangled and knotted up that you even need their help with. But they point you in the right direction, and that's
really relevant for the
so
time. Really working with our, our karmic knots or bonds or binds. It's really relevant for the time with what we're all going through as a collective. The earth herself is going through her own karmic clearing cycle. But also later on tonight, I will be live on Moon Day on my Magical Me page or with my Moon Day reading. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, so I don't want to go too much into detail. So that'll be 7 p.m. Eastern tonight on Magical Me. But I'm going to be talking a little bit about the planet Saturn and how it is the ruler of karma, and it actually is aligning with the moon this evening as well as with its home sign of Capricorn. So it's like, yay, karma. So but it can be great. It can be a good thing. It can be, honestly, because it could also be that you're being released from some karmic cycles as well. So yeah, we'll talk more about that later. But the Norn stuff is, working with them, I feel then, based on what you just said, would be really, really pertinent to know.
Yeah. But I mean, those karmic shifts, like with Saturn or the Norns or whatever, that is actually where we can really make the shift, isn't it? It's like, really
you're right. That's why it comes up right now. That's why it's all like coming up, or you'll notice all these things in your life happening. And it's like, okay, we have free will, so we have the choice. But this is like the window, it's like the doorway. It's like kind of releasing this stuff and getting rid of it. And sometimes it's not fun, but that's the process, Yeah.
But I've got a lot of gratitude in my heart at the moment for the Norns, and I have to keep going back. But that's why I love teaching this stuff, because it like takes me to another level with it and makes me do the work, because I do get very interested in a lot of things, and then things that are really important, and it's like, no, stop learning that, come back over and do this is what.
So where can people find your Norn class offer?
Well, I've put the post up. I put the post up on this page, actually, Evolving into the Cosmic Heart page. But if you can't find it on there, it will be on the Ascension Rooms page I've got on Facebook.
Well, that's wonderful. I look forward to taking it. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Karen. Hi, Margaret. Welcome. Thanks for being here with us. Yeah. So, it's been quite an interesting time, especially these last 2 weeks. But this weekend, Mercury is in retrograde.
Retrograde now, is it? Oh, I was going to say, because when I started the show tonight, before you came on, I had to like redo it because I was trying to do something else, and it started itself.
Well, I couldn't even get on for quite a bit before the show started. So, Mercury is in retrograde, everybody. It's, fun, I think. Until...
Oh, dear.
Is it?
All we need, isn't it?
It's coming up where we're going to actually be moving out of retrograde soon. For some reason, the two dates are standing out in my mind, and so I could be wrong, but 12th and 19th are standing out in my mind right now. So maybe it's one of those magical days, and maybe the other one is something other magical. I don't know. But
it's like we're permanently in Mercury retrograde.
We're in like 20.
When we just do...
we're in like 20 retrogrades. No, I'm exaggerating, but it feels that way. We really are. I think, is Saturn in? Saturn might already be in retrograde. Or it's going to go back into retrograde until September. Yeah, I'm done. I don't even follow it anymore. I'm just like, I quit. I quit. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, at
Oh,
least I'm sleeping
well, that's
better
good.
now. I'm sleeping better. That's one, got to count your blessings. I think I could not sleep in March and April with all that light coming in. It was just like every night I'd be like so tired and I'd be like,
I will say the past,
please.
not this week so far. Well, it's only Monday, but I would say the last week, I had a really hard time falling asleep before like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I would be dead tired and I just could not fall asleep. It was like, my energy was on high, but I couldn't bring myself to do anything other than lay there and watch TV. It wasn't like I like to read at night,
Yeah.
and that's when I like to absorb, information. And I wasn't even able to do that. So it was just all this craziness happening. But in the States, we actually just celebrated over the weekend our liberation, our our independence from the Brits, from you guys. But, looking at that in a more symbolic, bigger perspective, it was really about, and it still is about, our personal and collective liberation. And this is a really great time to reflect on, what are these cycles freeing you up from? Recognizing that. And sometimes it's not desired, but it really always is for your benefit. It really is for your highest good, because we just can't stay stagnant anymore. It's just pushing us forward to evolve, to ascend. And, we're one. So Earth cannot do it if we're not doing it. You can't do it if I'm not doing it. So we really do. We've got to get it together. So really a great time to reflect on that liberation and what are you being liberated from, and then grab that and work with it, move forward with it.
Cool. I have got another big topic to talk about, but I'm going to save that till next week now, because I don't think I'll get it in the last 3 minutes.
Well, can we have a little spoiler?
Yeah, I want to talk about the divine feminine in her shadow aspect.
Yay. That's my wheelhouse there. Now we're talking.
Yeah, because I've been having some very interesting experiences at ancient Neolithic burial mounds, and something's coming up, and I think it's connected to Atlantis. And I'm like, I'm not seeing anything being said about this anywhere else, so I need to talk to my peeps and get some ideas.
Well,
something's going on, and it's interesting. And when I mean interesting, I mean interesting.
Wow. Way to leave us there on that cliffhanger. Yeah. Thanks, Rachel. We're all gonna have to hold our breath for 7 days.
It has been so nice talking to you again, and everybody. Yeah. It's like I really did miss it. It's like, because I love doing this, and I am always tired the next day. So it was really good to have like 2 weeks break. But part of me was going, I want to talk. I want to go on there, because it's like, it's almost like processing.
Yeah, and then we'll have those moments, or at least I know I do. I'll have those moments where something amazing, or I'll have some epiphany moment, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this when we go live, and I'm like, then I'm not going live, so I'm going to have to wait. Now I'm going to have to wait. So.
I know. I did think that's it. I did think of a couple of things. I was like, oh, yeah, I can talk about this. Oh no, I can't. And the thing is, like, even though like you think, oh, I'll remember to talk about it, you won't, because it's like the next.
Exactly.
There's
yeah. No, it's like it was for that moment.
Week,
like, here, get this message, download it, and then you get another one like 5 minutes later. But yeah, no, it's been great, and oh my goodness, we've had so many people that were tuning in here with us today, and all the comments and the feedback. Thank you all for being here. We do appreciate that. And Karen says she feels like Mercury ends retrograde on the 12th of this month. So.
Okay, that's good. And I got a couple of people here. Aroha.
Hi, Deborah. Hi. Did you say Aroha?
Hi.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think so. But
yeah. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us this week. And, holding out and waiting for us to get back here. And so we appreciate that. And those of you interested in joining our members only group, send us a message. The information is also available on our page. It is $22 a month through Patreon. And Rachel and I share in a lot of information, especially we just kind of go as we're inspired. We receive it, we share it. So lots of channelings, light transmissions that we do together, and tools as well to work with throughout the month. So if you're interested.
Yeah, and we love doing it as well.
All right then. So I guess we will see everybody live next Monday, same time.
Yeah. I have to say bye
Take
now.
care. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.